Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with the first of a few guides for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. Today we're going to be talking about Necrozma Dusk Mane, otherwise known as Solgaleo Necrozma. Now, this is specifically for this and not for Ultimate Necrozma. I just want that to be known. This is specifically for this Pokemon. Because you do need to use this Pokemon or Lunala Dawn Wings to become Ultimate Necrozma. We're not talking about that one specifically, though. But I will be talking about the new Pokemon. I'll probably be talking about Lunala next, as well as have a showcase later today in the Ubers tier with these Pokemon. I actually just recorded that. It was really fun. But yeah, you guys can go ahead and check that out later today. But in any case, we'll be talking about this Pokemon. So this is the fusion of Necrozma, and I just love saying it like that, so I'm sorry if you don't like that, plus Solgaleo. Now, it did lose out on its HP stat and speed. It's now base 77 speed and base 97 HP, but it does have a base 157 attack, which is up from its base 137, base 127 defense, base 113 special attack, and base 109 special defense. Couple that with Prism Armor, which makes you take 3/4 damage from super effective moves. This mon is actually decently bulky for the most part. In some cases, it's actually bulkier than Solgaleo itself, even though Solgaleo has massive HP stats. So let's talk a little bit about this Pokemon. So in this generation, Necrozma got Photon Geyser or Geyser, and what it ends up doing is it's this 100 base power physical or special move, right? So it says right here it's special, but it depends on your highest stat. So because this Pokemon's highest stat in offense is its attack, right? 413 versus 235, this attack would be physical, where in the cases if its special attack was higher, that attack would be special. So it's a really cool set that you can abuse on any variation of Necrozma, whether you're using Ultimate, the UB one, the Burst one, the Lunala Dawn Wings, or obviously this Solgaleo. So it also gives Solgaleo this accurate 100% accurate move and strong move. Before, all it had was Zen Headbutt to abuse its psychic type. But the first set we have right here is Swords Dance. Now Solgaleo now has Swords Dance in its move pool because when it fused with Necrozma, I'm just going to call it Necrozma Dusk Mane. I'm going to stop calling it Solgaleo. I'm sorry. Because when it did fuse, it got Necrozma's move pool and just kept Sunsteel Strike. So the first sense is Swords Dance. We have Swords Dance, Sunsteel Strike, Earthquake, and Photon Geyser. They're all 100 base power moves, 100% accuracy. And that's probably the best thing you ever like to see on a setup mon. A Pokemon that has strong base power moves and doesn't have to worry about missing any of them. So with the item we're running is PokeaimMD, and this allows Sunsteel Strike to become Searing Sunray Smash, which is a 200 base power physical steel move. So it becomes a strong nuke for this Pokemon. Earthquake is there because it allows you to deal with Primal Groudon. You're going to be using this Pokemon in the Ubers tier. It is banned to Ubers automatically. You're going to be using this for Primal Groudon, Mega Metagross, Pokemon like that. Obviously, that's the big thing about it. At +2 with rocks up, you actually knock out max HP Primal Groudon. So that's pretty big. I would show you guys calcs. Unfortunately, they're not on the damage calculator just yet. But Sunsteel Strike is your main force of stab. And then Photon Geyser is really good for this Pokemon because it allows it to deal with Pokemon like Ho-Oh. Pokemon that you would otherwise have to run moves like Stone Edge for, which would obviously miss. But now you have this physical spamming Photon Geyser, and this is pretty cool because you can even use it on Psychic Terrain spam, which is something like Lele, Deoxys, or even use it to abuse that. And it is just a soft check naturally, or a check naturally in general, towards Geomancy Xerneas. So we're running Jolly Nature, max attack, max speed. The reason we're running Jolly over Adamant is because this Pokemon is base 77 speed. It's really slow. I'll actually show you Adamant right now, but it's relatively slow, and if you are going to SD up, we want to at least make sure that you can get off an attack, right? So my motto is, why run Adamant if there are chances that I'll be outsped by certain variants of Speedy Groudon, right? Or just Pokemon around that speed tier. So Jolly just ensures that I'll be able to outspeed for the most part, most support Pokemon. After rocks, you do knock out Ho-Oh, Photon Geyser, Same thing with Earthquake versus Groudon, so just a more offensive set. Now, support, this is something that Solgaleo has seen in itself, but now that's Necrozma Dusk Mane, it does have Prism Armor, and it gets Stealth Rock in its arsenal. So now it has access to Stealth Rock, and you can run a specially defensive set, which always checks Xerneas. An example, this set takes a +6 modest Moonblast from Geomancy Xerneas, and that's taking into account the fact that its ability boosts its Moonblast as well. So you take a +6 attack, Sunsteel Strike always 2-hit KOs, all variations of Xerneas, even physically defensive Xerneas is 2-hit KO by Sunsteel Strike. Morning Sun is your main form of recovery, and this is really cool too because for the most part, Necrozma Dusk Mane, Solgaleo, they lure in Primal Groudon, and when Primal Groudon comes in, you use Morning Sun, and it recovers even more of your HP than the 50% it would just because Sun is up. Toxic is going to be your third move, and I think this is 100% crucial on this set, being able to wear down Groudon, being able to wear down Giratina, being able to wear down setup Mons as well, and just stop them. Beltal coming in on you. These are all Pokemon that might come in on you because they could take it, especially if they're physically defensive. So Toxic is going to allow you to wear them down. And Stealth Rock is what makes you just a little bit better than Spadef Solgaleo. Not only the fact that you have Prism Armor and the better bulk in Spadef, but also you have access to Stealth Rock because Necrozma does get Stealth Rock. So this allows you to be a support Pokemon. And this Pokemon actually is pretty cool because in the metagame in Ubers right now, and I'll be dropping some knowledge on you right now, in the metagame in Ubers, Arceus Fairy is one of the most used Arceus. The other two would be Arceus Ground and Arceus Water. Those would probably be the 3 most used Arceus. And 2 of those you beat 1v1 with just Toxic Sunsteel Strike. Arceus Water and Arceus Fairy, you beat 1v1. Or even if it's Earth Power Arceus Fairy, it's not going to do anything to you because of Prism Armor and your Spadef investment. And most Arceus Water run Ice Beam as their only offensive move. If they did have a move, it would be Judgment. And they're usually non-invested because they're support for Rayquaza and whatnot, and Salamence. So it would be like a 7-hit KO or 6-hit KO on you. And you can obviously recover it off. A 6-hit KO is more appropriate, 5 to 6-hit KO. And you can recover it off a Morning Sun, stall them out with Toxic. So this is the metagame of Toxic, meaning Toxic is used on all the mons, not that people are toxic in the tier itself. And Spadef is just, it has a role because it does have Stealth Rock now. So it definitely has more of a role over Spadef Solgaleo, which was previously used. Now, I was actually talking with Jambat a little bit, and I'll just, again, drop something with you. But you can run a Fizdef set, which is pretty interesting. Being able to check Pokemon like Dragon Dance or Rayquaza. Obviously, you have to worry about V-Crate, but if you're Fizdef and you run Prism Armor, which is what you have, and after V-Crate, you take it, and then you could knock them out with Sunsteel Strike after the defense drops. That's something to note. It also can help check Salamence, maybe some variants of Arceus, but I think that specialty defensive is probably the best way to use it. Now, this set is a lot of fun, and this is a set that I actually recorded the live with, so I'm really excited to show that. But this is a Totemized Weakness Policy Necrozma Dusk Mane. Now, when I saw that it did get Prism Armor, I figured this would be really cool. I want to give a big shout out to Aberforth because I worked on these movesets with him, and this is the one we actually discussed and came up with. But the idea is, because of Prism Armor, and it's just bulk in general, you can take a max attack Presses Blades from Primal Groudon. You could take a max attack Fire Punch in the Sun from Primal Groudon, set up, and potentially sweep them because Weakness Policy gives you the +2 attack boost when you get hit by a super effective move. So, the EV spread, 152 HP, 88 defense, again allows you to take Adamant Max Attack Presses Blades from Primal Groudon, and Adamant Max Attack Fire Punch after Rocks, always from Primal Groudon. So, you always take that, you always take both of them. If Rocks are up, you gotta be careful versus Presses Blades, but for the most part, nobody's running Max Attack Adamant Primal Groudon anyway. That's just, we wanted to make sure we could take that. If you're seeing offensive Primal Groudon, you're probably seeing Swords Dance with like 152 attack investment or something like that, and some speed and maybe Rock Tomb or whatnot, which you will take as well. And then if you're seeing Max Attack Groudon, it's probably on a Jolly Max Attack Groudon, which you always take. So, Sunsteel Strike, a Totemized Photon Geyser, and Earthquake, I went over what they checked before. The 228 speed means that at +2, you outspeed a Blaziken at +1, which is not necessarily super important because that's not something like you have to worry as much about in Ubers, But the important part is you outspeed Choice Scarf and Veltal. And with the 40 attack investment, you do 95% minimum with Sunsteel Strike to Scarf of Veltal. So it rocks up, you guarantee 2-hit KO, or you guarantee Oko, Scarf of Veltal when it comes in. Photon Geyser also helps you hit Marshadow, and it's just good standard neutral coverage versus, you know, Pokemon like Arceus Water, which otherwise take Sunsteel Strike and they shrug off Earthquake. So the other set is it can actually set up on support Groudons as well. You do about, I want to say 70 to 80% to support Groudon, like around that range of damage. So this Pokemon actually pairs really, really well with Xerneas because Xerneas forces in Groudon always. You go for Moonblast, you already got off that 20% that you need right there if they're Spadef, and that's it. That's all the damage you need to sweep later. And Groudon is always a Pokemon that's so good in the tier and always used. It has like a ridiculous amount of usage in the tier, and it's really easy to chip away at so you can get a sweep with this Mon. It's really, really fun. This Mon at +2, even without your weakness policy activating, this Mon is still a good check to Xerneas just naturally because of its typing. And even with just a Totemize, like, if you're facing an offensive team, this Pokemon just can sweep in general. So, really, really fun to use. The next set we have is Choice, whether it be Choice Band or Choice Scarf. If you are running Choice Band, I advise running Stone Edge. That way you always get that KO on Ho-Oh. Again, Jolly Max Speed for the same reason I talked about before. You gotta ensure that you're outspeeding these threats to pick up KOs. The only thing you do worry about with this is obviously like a max speed Jolly Band Ho as well. But this thing can also naturally check the Yancy because it takes Earth Powers, doesn't care about that. Knocks it out with Sunsteel Strike, Earthquake, Photon Geyser, and then Stone Edge. They are your they're just your main just offensive pressure. Now, you can slash Stone Edge. And when I did say Choice, by the way, you can run Choice Scarf. It is relatively slow, but has a decent speed tier. Being able to outspeed Pokemon like Marshadow at +1 is pretty, I think, important. Also, outspeeding everything below, so Arceus forms, Darkrai. So Choice Scarf can be used, and it can be a cool check to SD Lucario, which did just get Meteor Mash in this generation. So it can be a cool check to Mega Lucario, SD Mega Lucario, because you do take +2 Bullet Punch with these, you take Meteor Mash, and then you can knock him out with Earthquake. So that can be a really cool check if you want to use Choice Scarf. But I prefer Choice Band, but you can use Choice Scarf. And other options, Heat Wave can actually be slashed after Stone Edge if you want to be able to hit Ferrothorn, Scizor, even Skarmory. Not that you're going to see that too much unless you're fighting Jambat, but Skarmory. So Heat Wave can actually be slashed over Stone Edge if you don't want to hit Ho for that hit, because that super effective Stone Edge hit, that KO, because Photon Geyser can 2-hit KO Ho anyway. Thunder Wave is a decent option, but I think I prefer Toxic in this metagame. You're wearing down support Arceus, which are coming in. You're wearing down Pokemon like Primal Groudon, which are more than likely coming in. Knockoff is a cool move that it does get as well, but for the most part, like I said, the Pokemon that are coming in on you, Arceus types and Groudon, they can't be knocked off anyway. So for the most part, knockoff isn't the best option on it. Maybe for other, maybe for like Celesteela or something, it could be cool. And the last thing would be like Calm Mind, I would slash, but it has base 113 special attack, but there's a reason why you don't see Calm Mind, Solgaleo, and Ubers anyway. If you want to use Calm Mind on this, Lunala does it better, or Necrozma Dawn Wings does it better, which is also, a Lunala form of Necrozma. But for the most part, these are the moves you probably see slash. It does have a cool move pool. It has a good special move pool as well. Earth Power, Photon Geyser would obviously work as well. Another thing would be Psyshock, because Necrozma does get it. It gets dual screens. Like Trick Room, it gets a stored power, like it gets a bunch of cool moves, but for the most part, physical is going to be the way you want to go with this Pokemon. But anyway, thank you for watching. You guys can actually check out a playlist down below if you would like to see any more Ultra Sun and Moon movesets. Feel free to follow me on Twitch and Twitter as well. I'll be streaming Ultra Sun and Moon later today, this evening, and yeah, stay tuned for the showcase where I use a Totemize Necrozma Dusk Mane. So I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, friends.